Going live. And we're there. What's going on, D-Bags? Hope you guys are doing well. We're back here again with another episode of the Detox Podcast, episode 253 to be exact. And if you're new here and you enjoy music, podcasts, comedy, or hooping videos, do consider subscribing. We've got a whole lot of that stuff going on around here. And my name is Darren, Rita. Feel free to connect me at any of the links down below. When you do any of that good stuff, it helps us share conversations and laughs like we're going to have tonight with more people. So do consider doing that. Now, before I can jump into today's episode, we've got a lot of stuff to get to. I got to talk to you guys a little bit about that special time of the year, where you treat yourself, where you take a little vacation of sorts. Am I in the right spot here? I'm on the other side. I always forget which side I'm on here. But let's be real, man. There's nothing better than a well-earned vacation. Feels good to get away from it all for a bit and to just enjoy yourself in general. Who doesn't love doing that? Whether you earn the vacation or not, I like taking them. And there's no better place to do that than with today's sponsor, Alpine House 2. Alpine House 2 is a classic Swiss chalet duplex with an A-frame with a log cabin interior located directly across from the Ski Brûlée ski resort in Iron River, Michigan. Iron River, Michigan, by the way, is beautiful. Just look up pictures of it. It's gorgeous in the fall. It's gorgeous in the winter. Summers are great there too. Surrounded by forests, lakes, and rivers, Iron River, and more specifically Alpine House 2, is the destination for fishing, hunting, hiking, and snowmobiling. Currently, Alpine House 2 is undergoing some amazing renovations that are going to transform it into really the ideal spot for your next trip. From modern finishes to arcade games, you're really going to really love and enjoy this space. Their Instagram, which you can see on the little bar beneath me, as well as linked down below, will show you kind of some updates they've got going on there. So why not check out Alpine House 2 in Iron River in Michigan for your next adventure or peaceful retreat. Alpine House 2 is looking to open its booking up come early June, so only a few weeks away. But in the meantime, you can follow at Alpine House 2 on Instagram to stay up to date on renovations, bookings, and more. One last time, that's it's at ALPINEHAUS 2, the number 2, on Instagram to stay up to date. Check them out. Take a little trip. Why not? Especially if you're in Wisconsin. I know a lot of our viewers and listeners are from Wisconsin. It's up in the UP, so not a crazy drive. And you can just really enjoy some peaceful and relaxing nature, or you can get crazy with snowmobiles and all that kind of stuff in the winter. So check them out. Shout out to them for sponsoring today's episode. We got some stuff to get to, okay? I've been busy. I mean, I feel like I'm always busy, but maybe that's stupid to say. But I've been busy, dude. I've been hooping. I've been getting some things together. It's the summertime is upon us. It's May. We're at the beginning of May, right? Yeah, beginning of May. I forget the days sometimes. But things are getting warmer here in Wisconsin. All right, I dipped out to Phoenix and then to New Mexico to skip the last cold week. Now it's supposed to be getting warm. So I'm excited for that. And in being excited for that, I'm trying to do things with my summer this year. I'm trying to not let it go by. I feel like that happens so much, especially when you live in a state like Wisconsin. I'm sure most of the Midwest. But like our summer, it's there and then it's gone. We've only got it for a little bit, so you kind of want to get the most out of it. And sometimes I feel like I let the summers get past me or go by me too fast. And this summer, man, I'm trying to join some leagues when it comes to hooping. And apparently, I'm in a soccer league now. I guess, dude, I'm in a soccer league, so I'm gonna be doing that. That should be interesting. Landon McKinnis says Ski Brûlée is beautiful. Yes, it is. It really is. But yeah, so gonna be joining some soccer. What are you guys gonna be doing this summer? I'm curious. I'm trying to get as tan as I can, as jacked as I can, and try to visit some cool places and just enjoy the summer. Especially, we've got some cool stuff here in the Midwest, and I want to try to enjoy it while it's warm. I've got some, you saw in the thumbnail there, we've got some stuff we're going to be trying. We got some Footlongs. We got some rap beefs to talk about. And we've got some Bulldozers. I'll get to that one last probably. But man, this Drake and Kendrick stuff has been crazy. Crazy, dude. As someone who makes music, is a fan of hip-hop, is a fan of Drake and Kendrick Lamar, it's wild, dude. It's wild. I don't know how much you people at home are listening or have been following what's going on with the two of them, but it is pretty wild. I'm not going to get into a full breakdown. There's tons of people that are super ingrained in hip-hop that are doing way better breakdowns than I could do, but I've been following all of them and these breakdowns and whatnot, and I'll just say this. They both dropped a big chunk of songs. They both dropped, I think, like 4 times-ish on each other. And I do think the one thing I think that people are missing or maybe not fully grasping is, in my personal opinion, it sounds like a majority of these disses from both camps were made, were premeditated. Like they had already thought these people were gonna. Okay, we know what he's gonna say about us, and then the other side's like, oh, we know what he's gonna say about us. Because even when we listen to some of the songs, some of them don't respond to certain things that the other person said, and then even in the case of like, if you look at what was it, Drake push-ups into Family Matters, literally the last chunk of push-ups is the first part of Family Matters, and then he added that part, reacting to Kendrick saying he can't say the N-word anymore at the beginning. I think he just put that in, and the rest was already pre-made. So I think like it's gonna be interesting. Now I think as I'm sure they're both gonna still have a few more things in the clip. Hopefully they do. I think the biggest and coolest thing about this whole beef is that someone who is a Drake fan myself, I'm getting fed. There's lots of Drake songs coming out. I'm a big Kendrick fan as well. So there's lots of Kendrick songs coming out. Kendrick don't release music like that. So it's great that this has got Kendrick dropping music, more frequently. That's awesome. And a lot of people, myself included, think that this is some of the best rapping that Drake has done in recent history. I think he was rapping a lot on For All the Dogs, but I think he's doing some crazy, crazy stuff on this. So I think, we're winning as just fans of the music that they're both doing that. But as for who's winning the beef, man, I don't know. We're going to need some receipts because these motherfuckers are somebody being called a pedophile and somebody is being called a woman beater. So I need answers, man. You can't just both be saying that. I need proof of this stuff. Just wild. Michael Scott says Drake equals Diddy. Get the fuck out of here, bro. But so speaking of Mike had this idea a few weeks back. He wanted me to taste test some stuff. We've taste tested plenty of things on this podcast. We've taste tested exotic snacks from different countries. We've taste tested the Grimace Shake and what was the last thing? Oh, the Taco Bell new menu items. That went very well. So today, I had Mike on his way to the studio stop and grab us some Footlongs from Subway. Which, by the way, before we try all these, I gotta say it's kind of bullshit, man. What Subway's been doing. Did you see that they are advertising now? It's $6 6 inches. No. That's a real promo. You can pull this up. I'm gonna let Mike pull this up. They are genuinely promoting $6 6 inches. And we went from like the fall from grace needs to be studied, man, because it doesn't make any sense that we went from $5 footlongs to now I'm paying $6. I'm paying $1 per inch.
Are they like gourmet?
No. This is their special now. Go to images. It'll show like a sign. Look at that, $6. Yeah. This is their thing. You can go to Solo React. Should be me. Yeah. Look at this shit, bro. I'm not making it up. $6, 6 inches for $6. And they're like proud of that. Do they not remember? It was not that long ago that you could buy $5 footlongs, man. That's what we talking about, Thanks Obama, thanks Trump, thanks Joe Biden.
Due to inflation.
Come on, bro. Come on, Joe. Bring the price down on these fucking 6 inchers, bro. I should not be paying $1 an inch for a Subway sandwich, bro. Subway, and we got to be for real, man. Out of all the sub places, Subway getting outclassed, man, by a lot of these. Get a 6-inch turkey breast, only $4.99. It's not funny, Mike. We getting cheated right now. Think about it. I put Jimmy John's above Subway. I put Jersey Mike's above that shit. Jersey Mike's, mind you, I'm gonna put you guys on something real quick. Jersey Mike's has a chicken cheesesteak that you can get. One of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. I just tried it on a whim the other day, and it's so good. But I put both of those above it. I put Quiznos back in Quiznos Prime above Subway. Quiznos is not like that anymore. I don't even know. I mean, I found one in the Denver airport the other day. Other than that, I don't even know if they exist. But I put all those above them, above Subway. So for Subway to be like proudly saying like, hey man, remember we used to do that really cool thing? Remember that? Well, now we do like a way less cool thing. So we're going to advertise that to you. But yeah, so I don't know. Just sad, man. Just super sad to see. Very, very sad. But yeah, man, we got, what do we got here? The kids that sucked on water fountains, man. You guys remember that? What was that about, dude? I don't know why. I was just like, I'm on a run the other day and I'm just thinking about things. Things are just popping into my head. Going for a run clears my mind. One of my favorite things to do. And I just started thinking about all those different kids that I witnessed when you're waiting in line to get a sip of water, bro. And that kid that just starts slurping on the actual metal, like lip to metal, bro. Like that's just scary, dude. That's just scary.
Like that?
Yes, dude, just like that, bro. Yeah, just like that. Is that from Parks and Rec? Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think, man, and that's like, I know I've talked about it before on this show, but it's like, think about this, dude. We live in a world, like, I think we forget experiences like that, and we forget that, like, dude, I'm 25 now, right? There was a time where I was that little kid, and I was in line behind somebody else who is now 25, who used to suck on the metal of a water fountain. That's just, and that person drives a car now, you know? That person drives a car. That person, if they want to, they can register to vote. Something about that just freaks me out, dude. I don't know. Maybe that shouldn't be letting.
That person might have kids, and that's his kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That person has kids, and that person's kids are gonna have kids, and yeah, we're just gonna keep sucking water fountains right on the metal. But I don't know. It just freaked me out. Back to Subway though. We've been trying lots of stuff on the podcast. Subway's got this new 6-inch thing, whatever. But they also offer these foot-long desserts now. That was their big thing. So they've got, what is it? It's a cookie, a pretzel, and a churro are the 3 things that they offer. I've got all 3 of them here with me, and we're going to give a little taste test. We've got it. This one looks like a cookie. This is a pretzel in here, and we've got a churro right here. I think we'll start with the most classic here. We'll start with the cookie, and we'll unveil this guy. That's not impressive, man. That's not impressive, bro.
I really don't think it's
Is this? I don't know if it's supposed to look like that, dude. I think maybe the picture. Can we pull up a picture? Can we pull up a picture of what this is supposed to look like? This is the Subway. What do they call them? This is just a foot-long cookie. They just call it. Yeah. Let me see what it's supposed to look like. Maybe.
It's just not.
I think me and Mike got to stop trying to get fast food.
It's not cooked all the way, bro.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Did you say something to the guy weird when you went in there?
No.
Because he's pissed, bro. They did not. Look at what I'm holding in the bottom left corner of your fucking screen right now. And look at what's on the screen. Those are not the same thing. But excellent, man. Excellent. I'll still try a bite of it. Looks like this part's like kind of cooked. Let me give it a little taste. I'm gonna give it a little tasty taste. Yeah, man, that's good. Good presentation. I'm gonna give you a 1, but it's still a Subway chocolate chip cookie. Mike, why don't you get a little bite of that? Get a little bite of that for working hard over there, pulling stuff up. Yeah. There's like the outside solid. It's pretty doughy in the middle, but when I was in high school, there was these cookies you could get in the lunchroom that were completely not cooked in the center. And I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Those slapped so hard. So a little bit of that is good. This is like 90% not cooked, so I don't know that I would want to eat the rest of this. I might throw this back in the oven when we're done with this podcast. But I'm cool with a little bit undercooked, you know? I'm cool with a little bit. Bro, put it in flat. It looks so good. Yeah, not crazy about that one, but I mean, taste-wise, good, man. Taste-wise, I can't complain. I can't complain at all. I'd say 6, 7. Maybe 7.5. It's a good chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Just not cooked at all. But I can cook it. I'm capable. I mean, even though we did pay to have it cooked, it is what it is. It doesn't come with any sauce, the cookie. Really? So
Neither does the churro.
the churro doesn't come with any sauce either. But the pretzel, which I just got some of the sauce on me, came with the sauce here. So we got a little honey mustard. This is.
Yeah, it's just the same honey mustard that they put on.
Oh, I'm not a big honey mustard fan typically, but look at this. That's kind of suggestive.
And it's from Auntie Anne's.
Auntie Anne's.
Yeah.
Auntie Anne's. Wow, collaboration there. I don't know if you guys are big pretzel fans, but check that out. I like a big ass pretzel. We got big pretzels at the place I work at, and those are phenomenal. Milwaukee pretzels in general are pretty good, but I guess I'll just try. I'll try it with a little bit of the sauce. That wouldn't be fair to not do it. I'm not a huge honey mustard fan, but you don't trust the sauce? Mike is saying no. I'll put a little bit of sauce on there.
That's fair.
It's okay.
It's pretty dry.
It's pretty dry pretzel.
Pretty dry pretzel.
Did they? I mean, I'm sure when it was warm, it was probably good.
I didn't get too long ago, but I'm not like,
It's a pretzel, man. They should serve it with cheese though,
that's what I was saying.
like a cheese, like a hot cheese, man. That will be fire. I'm not a big.
Tastes like like one of those Hawaiian sweet rolls.
Mike says it tastes like a sweet roll. If you couldn't hear that, I mean it's not bad. It's a pretzel, bro. That's the thing. This is all we got to start. We got to be for real with you guys. The last time I did something like this was when we had that Taco Bell shit on, and that was so atrocious that all of this is light years ahead of that. Okay, so you got to put that in perspective. But we're still critiquing it. It's not the best pretzel I've ever had, but I've also been living in Milwaukee for a year now, and I got to tell you, if you've not been, Milwaukee, like if you're listening from somewhere else, Milwaukee does have some fire ass pretzels, bro. Milwaukee and then Milwaukee County area. Big pretzel, you get it with some cheese. Some people like it with there's a dark mustard that people will get it with. I like it with either the cheese or they do it with like a cinnamon sauce sometimes, and that shit is so fucking good. This is fine. This is fine. Subway, I'm gonna give Subway's 2 for 2, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not swishing these shots,
No.
but they're going in.
They're like banking it.
They're going in. Yeah, it's banking in, but it's in. I want to check this last guy out here that we got. Try it without the sauce too. Okay, I'll try it without the sauce too. Okay, we'll try it without the sauce as well. Fine. It's bread. I love bread, so I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, pretzels kind of have been unlocked for me in the last year. Again, living in Milwaukee, I kind of like them now. I used to never like them. It used to be at like a basketball game, right, with your friends, and like you get those shitty little pretzels. I would always see people like going nuts about those, and I'm like, that shit looks awful. I do not need that. And I would try it, and I'd be like, this is fucking lame. And now that I've had good pretzels, it has opened me up to taste not so great pretzels and be fine with it. But still, a good pretzel is a good pretzel, and that doesn't compare to anything you're going to get from like a local place in Milwaukee. Which, why would it? It's at Subway. But lastly, we got the guy, the festive option. It's just Cinco de Mayo, right? Yeah, so we got the churro in the house. I'm surprised they didn't give you a sauce. What sauce do you usually have a churro with?
Icing.
Like a frosting almost, right? I like churros, so I'm gonna like this. I've already decided, and it is good. If I were you at home, the churro is good.
Churro's best.
The churro's good. I mean, I bet the chocolate chip cookie is just as good as the churro. But if this had a little like a little icing to dip into, man, just because it's light, it's not super heavy. You know, like this would be the best one if it had a little bit of icing. But if the chocolate chip cookie was cooked all the way, I think that would be the best. The pretzel's definitely coming in last. But I would probably, if I was to order one of these again, like for myself, like we got done hooping and, I was getting a sub to eat. And I was like, yo, let's split one of these footlong fucking desserts. I'm getting the churro.
For sure.
And then I would hopefully, I don't know, find some frosting somewhere else. Because, I mean, it would be good with some frosting. I might have some frosting out in the kitchen, so we might be eating good after this. Speaking of, dude, one of my homies, he makes hot sauce. I think I mentioned it before on the podcast. I'll try not to chew and speak to you guys at the same time, but I don't want dead air, so it's going to happen. One of my homies that makes hot sauce, he's actually going to come on the podcast eventually once he's like ready to launch all of his brand and everything. He gave me a big thing of his sauce, one of his best sauces, that I'm not going to say the name of. I'm not going to promote because I know he's not ready for all that yet, but it's a blackberry habanero sauce, and it's so good, man. It's really thick, and it's really, really tasty, and one of my favorite sauces I've had. So I got a bunch of frozen wings from this restaurant, and I've got them all sitting in my freezer right now. So when we wrap this podcast tonight, I'm eating good, bro. I'm eating some fucking wings with this homemade sauce, and then I'm eating all these Subway desserts. Like I'm living my best life, bro, and that's what I'm trying to do all summer. That's what I mentioned at the beginning this, like, trying to enjoy time, enjoy our summers because we don't have them a lot. One of my favorite things to do in the summer is just eat, man. I just love to eat outside. Something different. You got the sun coming down on you. Maybe it's even a little bit. The sun's kind of getting close to setting. Being in that sun, having some good food being served to you, like there is nothing I would rather do than that. Nothing I would rather do than that. But what do we think, man? Subway delivered, I think, compared to Taco Bell. I mean, this is embarrassing. We can't pretend that this is not embarrassing. We can't pretend that that's not embarrassing. Now I have to sweep in here. But in general, I mean, it tastes fine. It's not like that fucking Taco Bell shit that was gonna make me sick. But I mean, hey, that makes me happy though. At least we had some good stuff today. Obviously, it would have been better if we, maybe had a little bit some frosting and a fully cooked cookie. But I can't complain. I can't really complain about that type of shit, bro. All around, I think it's 7. Yeah, Mike's right. I'm gonna say a 7 on that. Now, there's been some wild shit. So outside of these rap beefs and things like that going on in the news, because that's really kind of consuming everything, I think, right now, at least on my feeds, because that's what I'm into. One of these other things that's been super, super big over the last, I want to say year, maybe like 8 months-ish. 8 months ago is probably when it was really, really big, was the whole NPC thing. I don't know if you guys remember that at all, but there was people that would essentially pretend to be an NPC, a non-player character from a video game, right? So what they would do is they would go on lives on TikTok, and each of the different types of donations you can make. So one that costs this much, there's one that costs $1, there's one that costs $5, there's one that costs 10, 20, 50, 100, whatever. Each one of those basically worked as a button. So like you're basically, by paying that, you're pushing that button, and then the person has to do whatever pre-programmed interaction or reaction is to that specific button, right? So if I spend $1 and I gave them, I don't know the different things. You'll see here in a second in an example. But if we were doing a detox one, right? Maybe if you donated $5, I'd be like, that's fair. That's fair. Oh yeah, for real. Like it's like you're kind of like you're sitting here and then you're doing the thing. I'll let the queen herself show you real quick. Mike's gonna show just a clip. This is someone else reacting to her because it was hard to find a legit
Take your
stream of it,
CR, take your Kiki. Ice cream so good. It was you, Max, Pop, amazing.
So this is the future.
Yeah. So that's just a little quick thing, but that's what's her name? Pinky Doll or something, I think. Pinky Doll. Yeah, Pinky Doll, who is like the girl who, I don't know if she's the one that started, but was the biggest one. And everybody was doing it. But so like you can even hear there, she's like, "Ooh, ice cream so good," and she has to do the lick. I'm not doing that. You're not catching me with the soundbite of that shit right now. I'm not about to do it. But that's what people do, right? They come up with these different things, and then literally the only entertainment value of the stream is the hope that people will donate. Because if people donate, it makes you have to do these stupid things. Otherwise, you're just sitting there like a non-playable character, just kind of existing, right? And so people got into this stuff. It blew up, gained really massive popularity months and months and months ago. And since then, it's definitely died down. I mean, she's still doing her thing. She's still making money. There's other people, I'm sure, that are still making money. But another one that was super popular was this guy who looked like Miles Morales a little bit. And he was doing a Spider-Man Miles Morales bit. And he's been going through it, dude. He's been going through it. What's his actual name here? What's his, like, creator's name, isn't it? Well, they call him, yeah, Miles Morales NPC. But I forget his actual name, dude.
Hey, I don't give a fuck who that.
Okay, so this is, as you saw a little glimpse of, my guy has been tweaking, bro. He has been tweaking. So essentially, like I just mentioned, right? These people make their money. Based off donations. So they get a donation and then they respond to that. And so this guy was getting certain donations. And he had to, he's sitting there, he's Miles Morales. So, like, someone would send something and be like, "Oh, I've got to save the city," or "Thanks, da-da-da-da-da," and he would do these stupid things. And apparently, now that the trend has sort of died down, I know he's been robbed. He's gone through other issues with, like, trespassing with cops and stuff like that. He's had all these things where he's been starting to break down a little bit. He's not making as much money anymore, and he's still having to deal with all this bullshit because the difference between him and a lot of these people do their stuff at their house. So like if I did an NPC challenge at my house, I'm in a, you know, undisclosed location. I can do whatever I want to do, and I'm that's it. But when it comes to what he's doing, because for the bit, he's trying to be in New York City, and he actually is filming it on the streets of New York City. Basically, while you're live for extended periods of time, if you do have lots of people watching, you're basically doxing yourself. If you're outside and someone recognizes where you're at, and so people are pulling up on him. He was getting made fun of a bunch. He literally got jumped / robbed, among other things, and so he's not doing so well. So we've got a couple videos just to show you what's going on here. This is what happened when nobody was sending him money.
There's 11,000 people in here. There's 11,000 fucking people in here. And you guys are not tapping the screen. Tap the goddamn screen, okay? Okay, you see this button right here? Press the fucking button.
That's how I gotta be, bro. I gotta start demanding.
Thanks to follow. You guys
And he goes
are
right back
amazing.
in. This is the insanity. So you can pause it there. So that's the insanity. Now he did, again, he's been robbed recently. He is like freaking out because he doesn't want to. People are making fun of him. They're saying, man, this guy, why don't you get a real job? Why don't you get a real job, dude? Like, oh, it's time to get a real job. And I do understand that, and I agree with that. Like, obviously, it might be time to do something different. Like, you can still be Miles part-time, man, but, like, he's, like, in a couple of these clips that I watched, and we don't have to go through a ton of them for you to get the idea, he's, like, genuinely tweaking because he hasn't slept. He's not eaten in a long time. Like, but he's grinding, staying on the live, doing what he thinks he has to do to just scrape up enough money to keep doing this thing. And it's sad, dude. It's sad to see. But, I mean, that's kind of what happens when you are, I don't know what kind of lifestyle he was living. Hopefully he put some of that money away that he made when it was huge. But, like, if you buy a bunch of shit, when you're really only, like, you're online panhandling because the only way you make money is at the discretion of the audience and not, like, a guaranteed amount of money. It's only, like, as... like you're doing an event. That'd be like if I put on a show and I only get paid, like if I was there and people could just walk by. I mean, it literally is panhandling. Sorry, I butchered that. But if I was on the side of the road rapping and I'd be like, I'll rap your name. I'll put your name in the rap if you drop $1 in the bucket. I mean, that's essentially what he's doing, but with preloaded responses. And I guess, I mean, when you make, I'm sure he made a lot of money when it was super popular. It's hard to bring that back, dial that back. And we got a super chat in here. David says it's got a little emoji thing in there, $5. So thanks for the donation, man. That means a lot. Appreciate that. I'm not an NPC, so I'm not going to do a crazy dance. So maybe if I came up with something cool, that would be fun. It's hard, man. And now he's going through it. What's his name? Do they have a name for it yet, or what's his actual name?
Thought I saw it was like Juicy Views. What is it? Not Juicy Views. Don't quote me.
We're trying to find his real name. Not that maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe we don't need it. But I don't know, man. Like Leaks World. I don't think that's his name. I forget it. But so basically, this guy's going through it, man, and I feel bad. I almost feel bad.
This is him, bro.
This is him, yeah. Oh, maybe Leaks World. Here, pull it up. You can pull up his account so people can show him some love.
You won!
This is him addressing him getting robbed. And this is where, like, when you watch this, I just want you guys to watch. I don't want you to watch this and, like,
It's 3 minutes. Something.
we're not going to watch the whole thing, but just, like, this is someone who's under duress, dude. This is someone who's stressed out because of the lifestyle that they've chosen. And I'm sure it's, like, I mean, you got to think about it. It's got to be addicting, dude. Like, you're doing nothing, essentially. You're just dressed up as this character, and you're just waiting for people to send money. And for whatever reason, in that moment of time, in the last, 6 to 8 months, that was the thing where people were willing to do it. Like, you really had there was almost no value in what you're creating. I'm not saying that there's no value in it at all, but like you're not doing anything to get people to donate. They are almost donating to get you to do something. It's kind of almost the reverse, as like it usually works with creators, where it's like you make something really cool and then enough people get behind it and then that blows up and then you monetize it in some way, where this is like the idea of the NPC thing was so popular that people just jumped on it, and everyone was just kind of, because they thought it was funny, was like, sure, I'll put $1 in, sure, I'll put $5 in, whatever. There were some crazy people donating tons of money, which is wild to me, but
He got $20,000 donation.
he got a $20,000 donation. When? That was his highest one. That's insane, man. But that's what I'm saying. So he made a ton of money. So you have this idea in your head, and he looks like a young kid. you have this idea in your head that doing this thing, that turning on this camera and just, floating there and waiting for people to send you money, that you're entitled to a certain number of cash flow, a certain amount of cash flow. And he was probably, I imagine he was living pretty good for a few months and maybe thought that was going to last forever. And now you're, looking like this.
You won. As you guys know, last night, I got fucking robbed. I'm gonna try to do this in one take because I'm really angry right now. I'm really fucking angry right now.
Like, look at that move right there.
Seems
that
like
move
the same.
The neck move, bro. That's the move that I make when I want to kill people, bro. Like, that's the move that I make when the studio that I've spent an amount of money on, I don't want to say on the air, decides to not work 5 minutes before a live. That's the fucking psycho shit that I'm doing. Okay, that's someone who's not well, and I know that because I have been that person. Probably last week I was that person, bro, before the podcast, So I know he's not doing all right, and I can't imagine, he getting robbed in the streets of New York City dressed as Miles Morales, too. That's the other thing, too. It's like, it's bad to get jumped, bro. It's bad to get robbed, but it's got to suck in like you're in a Halloween costume and you're getting jumped. That's got to feel even worse, You can play it for another second there. Let's see what he's talking about.
Same type of niggas that are supposed to support you, bro, don't fucking support you, bro. It be your own fucking people, bro. Your own fucking people
this is what I don't understand.
Your own fucking people fucking with you, bro. And I'm really trying not to dislike certain types of people, bro.
Like,
I'm really trying not to, bro.
He's hurt, man.
But literally.
Well, if you think about it, if his homies know where he's at, they could set him up easy.
That's what. So Mike just brought it up. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but his homies, like his homies could, and that's what I think that's what he's alluding to in the video, is that he thinks that it's people that know him that were setting him up.
I mean, look at X, dude. He's like homies to them.
Yeah, and I mean, it is just a thing. It's like, it's really hard when you're doing stuff. That's the thing about online. I mean, there's been plenty of people that have had their chain snatched, have been, I mean, they've had shit happen to them in the streets because people either post them or someone else, like, they know where they're at and they're friends with them and they're like, yo, you want to hit a lick, like, find this guy. And I can't imagine, bro, if views were already kind of going down and the lifestyle this guy's used to living is already kind of fading away, and then that happens, that would suck, man. So I do feel bad for this guy. I hope he figures it out. But I mean, at the same time, man, I would suggest, I don't know his real name, we'll say Leaks World, we'll say Miles Morales, NPC guy, I don't know. Maybe, like, do something else, bro. And you can still do that. Like, he could still do that, and he could just work a job. Then he wouldn't be so stressed out. What does it say?
His description is you either die a hero or live a long
His description of in his profile is you either die a hero ...
Do you know what the rest
Yeah, I know the rest of the quote from Spider-Man. Yeah. That's you either die a hero, or you either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. And he is definitely in his villain arc, I would say. Now, I wish him the best. Hopefully that guy figures it out. The last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today, I don't really have a good segue for this, but I found out about this, I want to say a month ago, and apparently it's like a known thing. And this happened a while ago, right?
Yeah, 2004.
This happened in 2004. I just found out that this existed. But, I don't know if maybe you guys have ever experienced this, where maybe you felt like people in a community, or you felt like whether it was friends, family, literally just peers at a school, whatever, man, like kind of stabbed you in the back a little bit, kind of like, did you dirty. And maybe you thought to yourself, like, man, I want to do something about that. I really want to mess somebody up. Like, maybe you thought to yourself, like, it would feel really good to slash somebody's tires or to egg somebody's house or something stupid like that, right? That, you weren't thinking big enough, is what I'm going to say. When we look at what we're going to look at today, I'm going to tell you weren't thinking big enough. You weren't thinking big enough because this guy that we're going to talk about today was basically, he felt slighted by his community, and he did something about it. Now, people I'm sure real people were harmed and their homes were messed up from this. So I'm not making light of that situation, and that is bad. But this is one of the craziest things I think I've ever heard of. And this is the story of Killdozer, a bulldozer that was made to destroy an entire town. And we're going to get into some of this. That's what it looked like right there, bro. So Mike told me about this not long ago, and I've been wanting to talk about it on the podcast, but it hasn't really been a good time to bring it up. And now that I'm here by myself today, I thought, why not? So what happened? I'm going to give you the gist of what happened, and then we're going to get into we're going to read a little bit of the story here. Essentially, what happened was this guy he lived in this small town in Colorado, right? In Colorado, and something had happened where he did he lose his job or he was going to lose his house?
So they had a zoning dispute, and he was losing part of his property.
That's what it was. It was
his muffler shop that he was going to lose.
So there was a zoning dispute, and this guy was he apparently was going to lose part of his property, and one of that being his muffler shop. He had like a repair shop, and he was going to lose it, and so he was upset about that. And so what he did was he himself bought tons of cement and built a tank out of his. Yeah, and steel and cement, and built a tank out of that and a bulldozer that he had, and then went and tried to destroy every building in the town of the people that he felt were a part of the decision to what he felt like was wronging him. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this story. We got it. Mike has it pulled up over here on what is this website? I want to give him some credit here before I.
I couldn't find the one that I found on my phone. So
Okay. You want to just exit out of that, whatever that pop-up is there, and then we'll pull it up here. This is history of how it happens. Is that what you said? History.howstuffworks.com. Shout out to them. But this story is everywhere. You can find a ton of articles on it. Is there a documentary? I feel like there's got to be a doc. Oh, there is a documentary.
Netflix, yeah.
Okay, there's a Netflix. Of course, Netflix profiting off of everybody's trauma, bro. Netflix is really out here. They're like, yo, how many people got killed? Oh, that's not enough, bro. We need more to make a documentary. That's what they want, bro. They probably love this guy. The start of it all. What's his name there? I can't see. You want to make it a little bit bigger if you click those three dots in the right corner. Yeah. You should be able to increase the zoom. Yeah, just hit it one more for me. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And his name is Heinmeier. Is that what it says? Heinmeier's story. At least the interesting part begins in Granby, a town in a high basin of the Rocky Mountains in northern Colorado. Okay. Not really worried about the elevation, but I will say elevation is crazy out west. That was one thing I learned from my trip out there. And tourism is mostly the draw of the area. Okay, cool. This is just some backstory on the town. And basically, let's scoot it down. Well, who was this guy? He moved outside of Granby Fall in 1991 and was running a muffler shop that he opened there years earlier. By all accounts, he was a wizard as a welder. That checks out with everything else. He was, by his own account, on recordings that he made in the weeks leading up to this tank, a successful business owner. He was happy. He was snowmobiling with his friends, hot tubbing at the cabin, and working hard in the shop. But as any small business owner in any small town anywhere in America will tell you, the red tape can be a lot to bear. Is that what it says? Yeah. Yeah, it can be a barrier. It can be a burden, I guess. And I guess they were having an issue in the town where he found himself at odds with others in the community, both in the government and outside of the government. After buying some land at an auction, he says, at least one person's discontent. Is that what it says? I can't read from this far. Okay, discontent. Then he tried to get an easement for a sewer line, and Heinmeier wasn't willing to pay a good deal of money to tie into the existing sewer line that was already there. And so that's when the problem started. Okay, so he complained to the town council and the neighboring businesses. What was he upset about? He was mad that they wouldn't just let him tap in?
So he was trying to do it in like a cheaper way.
He was trying to get it done cheaper. Okay,
Tax
so
him on it.
basically what all this is going to prove when it's all over with, if it's ever all over with, which I doubt it's going to prove. I hope it's going to prove that people that are meddling in your neighbor's business is destructive for the most part. Is that what he said?
Yes.
He's talking about destruction?
Yeah, this is like.
That's what he said before.
He was like recording himself.
Wow, so he was creating tapes too. So he created tapes leading up to this. Those tapes are probably insane. So then he went to work, man. My guy, he went to the back cave and he started working. He essentially, does it talk about how much he bought? If you scroll down, how much he had to do to build this actual device?
So I know it took him days, and he actually had to have a crane bring in the top.
So he had to have a crane come in to bring in the top part of the tank that he built. But it took him multiple days, potentially a week, to construct this. Do we know how heavy? Can we look up like the stats on this thing? Potentially.
I'll look up how heavy it is, but I do know that the steel was a foot thick.
So this is from Mike, my inside source here, who was there that day. Says that the steel itself was at least a foot thick, and the guy had a what kind of caliber gun on him?
I thought it said 50, but it did not look like a 50.
He had an insane gun inside the cockpit of this thing.
He
He had a sniper rifle outside shooting out of it so that he could shoot people with it if he wanted to. But there was no way to get into him. And so, can we pull up some footage of what was going on?
Yeah, I will. You want me to?
That's what I want to show.
You want to actually see like the news footage because they put them on the news.
Yeah, let's see the news footage. Let's see what they were showing as this was going on. So again, right? You think people have wronged you. Check out what this guy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, just do it with no sound. We don't need sound. This is this guy in a bulldozer. Which I don't know how he owned his own bulldozer. And he turned it into a tank, and he's just going straight for the businesses of the people, the owners of the businesses that he feel like wronged him. And look at what he's doing, bro. And it's like, it's gassed up like that. Why is it so gassed up? Like, it's insane, bro. And there was nothing they can do.
They said they hit it with over 200 rounds.
They hit it with allegedly over 200 rounds of ammunition. I'm sure the shit was bouncing off. It's probably more dangerous to shoot at it. I mean, if you've ever played Grand Theft Auto, this is like back when you played Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and you could get the tank cheat, and anytime a tank touched another vehicle, it exploded. That's probably the closest you could get to that in real life, was this. Not that you should. We are not endorsing this in any way, but this is... I mean, bro. Like, I have enemies, man. And I don't know that I mean, this is a different level of determination of, like, fuck all my enemies, bro. Like, this guy was like, I'm gonna sit in the lab. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna create this. And I just wanted to start this conversation, okay? I'm not the most investigative reporter, as you can tell by us reading some whatever article and showing you a little bit of this guy's highlight tape. I'm not going to give you everything, but I wanted to just put this in your head so you can look it up, and I'm going to probably go watch a documentary on it. But essentially, this dude, he caused a ridiculous amount of damage to this town, and then they called in the National Guard, right? They called in the SWAT teams and the National Guard.
They tried to use other bulldozers to stop them.
Yeah, so they you can see in the footage, they did try another bulldozer. They called in the National Guard, and there was literally nothing they could do. I mean, too bad no one could have, like, turned this guy into a good guy. Because I imagine this is like Tony Stark in that cave if he went the other way. And, I mean, look at him just going through, bro.
And that's the only thing that stopped him because he got stuck.
And this is it. So he gets stuck, and then because he's stuck, he knew that they were going to eventually get to him. And he shoots himself, I believe. So, trigger warning there. But so that's how it ended up going. But just a crazy thing. I mean, maybe it's dark that I think it's as wild as it is, but no, it is it's insane. It's insane, bro. And again, hopefully not many people got injured or hurt. Obviously, people's homes were definitely destroyed.
He had like little video cameras all on the outside.
But he's just, I mean, that's some actual,
Insane.
insane things. That's what I just think, like, there's this big thing going on right now where a lot of guys on TikTok are upset that that women are deciding that if they were to be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear, that they would choose the bear. And I mean, bro, look at this dude. Prime example of why you want to go for the bear. A bear, the best, smartest, strongest bear in the world, is not capable of what one white dude with a fucking a welding degree is capable of, bro. Like, this guy, the damage he caused. I mean, that town, that's crazy, dude. Do you think people come visit? Oh, that is a 50 cal sniper. Yeah. So Mike's hyped about that, I guess. That's scary. But yeah, that's Killdozer, guys. And that's the story. Essentially, he ends up taking his own life there towards the end, and yeah, not a cool thing to do, but still unique. I mean, way to solve your problems, to just build a giant tank. I just wonder, something I've thought about, and I've seen TikToks making fun of it, is like, how the fuck, if this guy keeps coming into Home Depot and just buying all the cement on the shelves, bro, like some 14, 15-year-olds are like, damn, we've really been having to push a lot of cement to the floor. We're out of cement mix again. Like, this guy, there was no way he could have bought it all in one day, so he had to just, like, keep coming back to Home Depot to buy tons of cement. And then he's going, who knows where he was buying steel from? Like, no one questioned, like, what are you doing, man? And I know, like, it's rural, the area he was probably in, but he doesn't have a single neighbor that drove by and was like, wow, man.
Oh my God.
What was his name?
Dude, it took 18 months.
Oh, this took 18 months, not 2 weeks.
My bad.
This took 18 months.
And it was layered. So
And it had
steel, concrete, and then steel.
Yeah, 18 months. Wow. But like, not a single neighbor drove by and was like, dude, what's his first name?
Marvin.
Marvin? What is Marvin doing, bro? Like, Marvin's room, for real. It was instead of a chick breaking his heart, though, it was the town. It was the city council.
Bro, and they cut it apart and sold it as scrap.
And they didn't let it slide. He didn't let it slide, bro. But yeah, I just think that's insane, man. Like, not a single person drove by and was like, wow, Marvin's really doing some weird shit to his bulldozer out there. I feel like his land's already all excavated. What is he? I thought he was just renting that thing. Oh, and then the next day you drive by and you're like, wow, it's getting bigger. It's getting even bigger.
What's he doing?
What's he up to, man? And yeah.
That's the project you're working on.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody did, man. Somebody should have, yeah. I wonder if he texted any of his homies, like, hey, man, don't go out to the bars today. Like, don't go day drinking.
It was a 2 hour. It happened in 2 hours.
And it went on for 2 hours. That's crazy. Yeah, man. Well, shout out to Marvin, bro. He's out here with the Killdozer. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. I got some wings to eat, and I got some stuff to eat, desserts to eat. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in live. I want to say we got some cool stuff coming up this month and next month when it comes to guests on the show. We're going to be getting back to having some comedians on, having some interesting characters, and talking all current events. I'll give you guys my full opinion on the Drake and Kendrick beef as that concludes, because I don't know if it's over yet or not. But once that's over with, we'll probably get to the end of that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in this week. I want to say a big thank you to our patrons. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you guys are interested in getting exclusive access to behind the scenes footage, as well as extra podcasts and a series where I break down how I mix, master, write, record every single one of my songs, go to patreon.com/Darren Rita, and you can help support the channel for as little as $1. Really helps us out a ton. Also want to say a quick shout out to Alpine House 2 for sponsoring this episode. Appreciate you guys a ton. If you guys are trying to plan a vacation, man, you're trying to go up north, whether you're from Wisconsin or you're from somewhere else, trying to go up north, check out the Alpine House 2 at Alpine House 2 on Instagram. Check them out. They're linked down below as well for updates, and you can message them about booking. You potentially be one of the first people to stay there, so that'd be cool. With all that stuff out of the way, this has been the 253rd episode of the Detox Podcast.